Well, I've always known them because I used to work with their father anyway, and obviously they were members of the MetSac, and I was a member of the Gibraltar Fishing Club. But because we started talking about international competition and going to a couple of them, and we started this friendship, and then two of the brothers joined my club, and we got even closer together, and we started doing things together and sharing information, etc. In fact, they are the future, because I can't say I'm on the way out yet, but I'm nearly there. They are the ones that I hope will take over committees and the federation, etc. And the fact they have a lot of contacts all over the world will help them do a good job, for all of us. The last one we did was a club competition where both clubs took part. But like I say, next year, hopefully, we'll go in October again together to Portugal. And as they now belong to both clubs, if they can't go with one, I hope they come with another. They are very experienced competition anglers, and they do very well when they fish self-casting, etc. And I know they have all the right tackle that are required, because you need to invest a lot of money in the right tackle.
Salgo, ¿no?
Puede ser que sí.
Está calentando la cosa ya.
A la cosa buena, Sally.
Hey, little small white bream.
Oh, que sarguito, Dylan, man.
Beautiful fish. Really small white bream, but stunning fish. We're quickly gonna release it, yeah?
Sí, porque ya se ha activado el pescado, ¿eh?
Fantastic.
Banded bream.
Banded.
Sí.
Bandido.
Ay.
Bandido.
The weight is a conch itself. Now, the way I fish is I use a 0.2mm line on a 4,000 size reel. With actually what we use is a boat rod, but if you can imagine that you're just dropping the conch over the side, then you're fishing exactly the same as a boat. So they are ideal boat rods. They're ideal for them. And anything between 3.3 and 4 meters is good enough. Like I said, I use 0.2mm line on the reel, a tiny swivel, and I put a 1.5 meter trace, 0.18mm line on as a trace. That's what I use. Never changed in years. The way I put the hook on the bait is I pass the hook with the line entirely, and then I do it twice more. And that way the hook, you can see the hook, and it's easier to cast, because sometimes when you cast, you might lose one or two of the conch. So I pass it in first with the line, and then I go back in again 2 or 3 times.
¿Está el tema en combate, Dylan?
Trevor?
I've hooked onto a fish now. Believe it's a medium-sized white bream by the looks of it. Maybe we are wrong, but obviously you never know exactly which fish it is. It's giving a beautiful fight. As you can see, the rod. Basically, the rod is doing all the work. It's a beautiful sized white brim sargo. Beautiful size, about 650 gram fish. Hay que echar, que si no este va a partir. Ahí, perfecto. Muchas gracias. Que está ahí en el límite de partir el pelo, si le hubiera haber estirado.
Oh, qué sargo, tío. Oh, qué sargo, se agarra el treva.
That's a 800 gram fish. Biggest at the moment. It's 33. Charlie es más chico que el tuyo, pero pesa más.
Está gordito,
Para que tú veas,
it's
que es
nice
raro.
and round.
Okay. Perfectly.
Este programa bicho del Mori.
Well, like I say, it's a hell of a versatile system. You catch whatever, whatever say, you catch wrasse, you catch combers, painted combers, white brim to banded brim, black brim, gilted if you're lucky. I mean, you name it, you can catch it. Common sea brims, Pandoras, or if the fish is within casting distance, you get them. With the shell, you've got to be very, very careful. If you use a smooth finer shell, which is the one that concha fina, which is every fish will take a bite, then I like to hold the rod in my hand. With the blood conch, sometimes it takes a bit longer for the fish to bite, and therefore I open the drag and leave it on a rest, on a bucket or whatever, and wait for the bite, because it could take a bit longer. But when they start biting, whichever the conch, the best thing you can do is hold the rod in your hand. Learn by the bite and the way the tip of the rod is moving whether you need to strike or wait for the fish to bite. Obviously, it's a rule of thumb type thing, so sometimes you don't hook the fish, or you get a run and you pull and you don't hook the fish. You think, with the run I've had, how can I miss it? But it happens.
Ahí está.
Another one.
Otro aquí también. Aquí tengo otro.
Oh, two at a time.
Fighting another fish. Seems a bit smaller than the other one, than the previous one, but still giving a nice, beautiful fight.
Otra teta negra. Another two branded brim.
Mira un pargo.
Well done.
Un pargo.
I think it could make it. See.
Sí, pasa.
Well done. Another
pargo.
species.
En la mano me ha dado, Dylan. En la mano.
Y a mí en la mano, yo estoy pescando la mano.
No, antes de poner en el suelo.
Yo es que no la estoy poniendo en el suelo, Cristian.
Oh, hey, comba.
I think it's a nice white brim. I just cast the blood conch, open the drag, just put it on the floor, and there it went. So it's must be a decent sized fish. Another 2 brand the bream. Very nice size, decent 2 brand the bream. Ahí va Sally.
A little white bream. Still makes a minimum government size, but they're better in the water. For me, a westerly like today. Southwesterly even better, with a bit of choppy seas and a white water next to the mole, breaking up the little mussels and stuff. That helps the fish get into the feeding mood, and you tend to catch a lot of fish rather than calm weather. Calm weather becomes more difficult. The fact that it hasn't been fished for in a very, very long time, the fish obviously are not used to the conch, because fish do get used to the different baits and the system we use, and sometimes they become very clever and they don't bite.
Last shots. Mira, ni cuarté, no me da ni cuarté. Bueno, that was the last shot. Didn't manage to land the fish, but to be honest, we've had an amazing time with my brothers and Charlie, which obviously we consider as family. And, you know, we are crying. We don't want to go, but unfortunately, it's the last conch, and that's how it is, you know? We need
Basically, we've ended up the day today. We've had a very quick session, me and my brothers, and obviously with our special guest, Charlie, which is for us a fishing legend and obviously like family to us. We try to steal tricks off him.
Like today, we stole a couple.
Nice, so it's a pleasure fishing with him.
Yes, definitely.
We've actually fished quite a few times externally outside Jib with him, and it's a pleasure to always go out with him to any place we go.
No, thank you very much for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Whenever you want, you know I'm available.
It's a pleasure for us, Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie always does it. He says, we haven't caught this type of species. This is weird, we haven't caught it yet. Boom, and he always catches it. He would stick a piece of cheese on, like dicho de aquí. Mete un taco de queso en un caño y saca un sargo. Ese es Charlie.
Con respeto a Charlie hoy, pero el heaviest fish lo he cogido yo. Pero Charlie ha cogido mucho más pescado que yo.
Charlie, hacemos una...
Y Charlie
Tiramos al agua con sargo.
La agonía, la agonía. El ojito derecho.